Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest video podcast. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening in the world right now, so let's talk about it. Before we get started, of course, I'm still taking your videos for the Model Behaviour Christmas special. So if you want to be a part of that show, then you just need to send me a video, 30 to 60 seconds, widescreen format, of you telling me your name, where you're from, and what your action figure of the year was. So far, we've had a whole bunch of really awesome additions, inclusions, applications, submissions. That was the word I was looking for. We've had a whole bunch of really great submissions, but I want to get more. I'm greedy. I'm a greedy little piggy for submissions. That sounds really weird. I didn't mean that in a weird way. Regardless, if you want to send those videos, you can do to the address below, and we'll put them in the Christmas special, and it'll be a wholesome Christmas special with no weird innuendos. I can't promise that. As I was saying it, I knew that was a promise I couldn't keep. Nonetheless, though, do send those videos in. And also, on the Model Behaviour Facebook group, I have a questionnaire you can fill out. Because who doesn't love filling out a questionnaire? So you can give me your nominees for the Model Behaviour, keep speaking in sentences, Dave, Model Behaviour Year-End Awards. Whew! Words are hard. I don't know. I'm in a funny mood today. So if you go to the Model Behaviour Facebook group, you can get that poll there and give your answers. Wow. This is going to be one of those episodes. Mondo have been busy little beavers recently doing a whole bunch of 1/6 scale animated figures. First of all, they revealed recently their Bane from Batman the Animated Series, and oh my god, this was the first Bane that I ever saw. This was the first Bane that I was exposed to, and honestly, the character terrified me. And especially towards the end of the episode, I hadn't seen Bane before, so I thought he was actually going to explode on a Saturday morning kids cartoon show. That Batman show went hard, it really did. And Mondo, by the looks of things, are going to go hard with this Bane, giving him his regular Roidy Magoo body, and then his ultra Roidy Magoo body. I love that, with the different masks as well. Even the mask with the terrifying, bulging, I'm about to explode from too much venom eyes. That's so cool, man. So yeah, this Bane right here, oof, that looks great. But that's not all. Because we also have some more images of their X-Men animated line. We got Wolverine, Sabretooth, we got casual Wolverine, and we're getting Cyclops here as well, with his jacket, 4 different heads, a huge blast effect, a smaller one too, and I can see also they got like a multiple do kind of blast effect. I think just Mondo take a look at the character they're doing, and then they think, how can we do more? How can we add value to this? You gotta love that, man. And then, of course, they're doing Spider-Man as well. We got the black costume Spider-Man from the 94 animated series. Everything here looks great, but that's not what's getting my attention. We're also getting, first of all, classic Spider-Man, which is awesome. I love the goblin mask, and just the aesthetic of 90s Spider-Man is great, but then we're getting Venom. We're getting, not only, see, this is the big thing. Not only are we getting 94 Spider-Man animated Venom, which looks amazing, I would have been tempted to get just him, but then I can see, if you go look at the far left, he's got like the web harness that he pulls Spider-Man up in that episode, which features in every single opening montage of the Spider-Man TV show. So I've gone from being like, I don't need a Mondo figure, to being, I need 2 Mondo figures, because I gotta get Spider-Man and I gotta get Venom as well, because I want to recreate that opening montage to the Spider-Man show. Have Spidey jacked up in the web harness that Venom is holding, being like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm so, and look, I can see they got like a removable jaw, with the tongue with all the green slime. Mondo. You might have me with this. Now, this is something I should have spoken about yesterday when I did the Hasbro Vintage Black Series Mandalorian Jango Fett figure. I was stalling through that sentence because my brain was trying to access Jango Fett. There you go. We got there in the end. They're also doing this Black Series 2-pack, which is just... I don't even collect the Black Series, and I'm annoyed. So I feel bad for anyone who perhaps wanted to army build the big chonky battle droids, because guess what? Hasbro just made it really difficult to do that, because now it's in a 2-pack with a very unique, specific character that you only need one of, which of course is the weird C-3PO mashup from Attack of the Clones. Hasbro, I want to bend over backwards to defend you. Like, I really do, but come on. This is kind of like putting Mr. Negative in a 2-pack with his goon. And it's like, you only want one Mr. Negative, but you want to army build the goons. Why are you putting army builders in multi-packs with characters that you only need one of? You're making life so hard for people that want to give you money and support your products. Why couldn't you have just done this battle droid on his own? And I reiterate, I don't even collect Black Series, but I'm annoyed for the people who do. Nonetheless, though, if you want the chonky battle droid, he's going to cost you $50, and you can get C-3PO with him. I don't know, it's tough being a toy collector sometimes. And even harder being a Star Wars fan, to be honest. You guys, you guys are going through it right now. Interesting little bit of YouTuber toy news, or YouTuber presenter news. Robo, who's probably like one of the main, the big dogs of YouTube. Whereas I'm like one of the little chihuahuas who's like nipping at his feet. He's there just giving the toy news, and I'm scurrying around going, yep, yep, yep. He has left the Swoosh. It's funny, when I first started watching YouTube, I thought that he was the Swoosh. I referred to the Swoosh as one of my favorite YouTubers, and then it turns out, no. The Swoosh is a collective of people, and Robo is a part of that. Well, guess what? He ain't no more. He's branching off on his own, and from what I understand, no animosity, no bad will, no nothing. It's just, people going in different directions, doing new things. So, Robo has his own new channel now. I think it's called Robo Doesn't Know, which is kind of a fun name. To be honest, I think that'd be a little bit more fitting for Muggins over here, because one thing I can tell you after watching his videos is that Robo knows a hell of a lot. But yeah, go on over and give Robo a follow on his new venture, and give his former associates will continue following them, because they're all good brothers. They're all doing good things, and good people deserve some follows. So go do that. Go on over to gridironprops.com. Why? Because they got some good stuff for you. Everyone's been getting their Hiss tanks in, and I've got to admit, I didn't go for the Hiss tank, but man, seeing everyone's pictures with them, I got a little FOMO. They actually look pretty amazing, and if you want to make them look even more amazinger, then Gridiron Studios have got you covered with this extra weapon pack thing. I don't know what you call it. It's a gun, but obviously there's like a proper name for it. 1/12 enemy, a howitzer. Howitzer, there you go. You can have a howitzer to put on the back of the Hiss tank, as if they needed any more firepower. The Joes had better get that HasLab helicopter in pretty quick, because right now Cobra are going to be eating their lunch, which would be quite gross, because they'd probably swallow it whole by dislocating their jaw the way that Cobras do, and no one wants to see that. So yeah, go on over to Gridiron and grab yourself one of these, because the one thing that his tank needs is a little more firepower. 5K Toys have been showing off the Storm King figure. Oof! Haha! Yes, please. Thank you, sir. And may I have another? So this guy goes right alongside their crazy orcs. I've got one of their orcs. He's awesome. I love him. Now we've got a human to do battle with him. And look at all the armor on this guy. And the thing about this particular line of figures is that you can just have so much customizing going on with this. You can strip all the armor away and get him down to the bare bones of the figure, or you can pick and choose how you want him to look. That's just... that's cool. And it looks like he comes with some stony diorama bases as well. Some different swords and whatnot. A lot of detail. Some scarring and gnarly looking facial features. It looks very Warhammer 40k. He looks like a medieval version of a space marine. One of the space wolves. And yeah, you know what? that hits the right points for me. I kind of like what I'm looking at here. So 5K Toys, you know, they're going to be distributing this guy, and honestly, if he's the same quality as the orcs that they've put out before, then you're going to be in for a treat. So I'm going to watch this guy closely because I might have to go for this. Go over to Amazon.com for your pre-order. It's back up for pre-order of the McFarlane Gold Label Doom Eternal Glow-in-the-Dark figure. Sorry, I had to get all of that information out of the way before I forgot it. But it's the Doom guy in glow-in-the-dark form, which honestly, I kind of dig. I love a good, silly glow-in-the-dark gimmick. And Doom is always going to have a huge special place in my heart. And I love the fact that this is both Doom Eternal, but also it's just straight up classic Doom guy. Basically, I think what Doom Eternal did so well was upgrading the Doom franchise for the modern generation, but still actually keeping the wonderful sort of feeling of the original Doom. It's the same Doom Slayer, and this is super fun. Of course, in the bright light of day, it looks pretty basic, especially the paint job, of course, which seems kind of flat. But then it's got the glow-in-the-dark gimmick. That's kind of fun. $29.99 over on Amazon now. For a 90s kid, this should be a no-brainer. Heat Boys. Heat Boys, Heat Boys, Heat Boys. The name will always remind me of crazy expensive things that are awesome. I've got the Leonardo behind me. He's beautiful. I was going to get the rest of the turtles as well, but then like Leonardo was cheaper. The other turtles are more expensive, and now they're doing Krang. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not going to get the other turtles, but maybe I could get Krang for Leonardo to fight. That would make sense. We've only got a silhouette. But you can see in the comparison little picture there, look at how big he is compared to Leonardo. And look at the size of Leonardo. Leonardo's big. Extrapolate out how big this Krang is going to be. You've got to be talking a couple of $100 when he lands. But oh my goodness, when he lands, he's going to land with a thud. Because he's going to look amazing. Ha! I might not get the other turtles, but maybe I could get a Krang. Hopefully we'll have full reveal pictures soon, because when we do, you know I'm going to be going gaga for this. Lingjun Toys have released some more images of their Crimson Typhoon figure from Pacific Rim. It's going to be coming out around about the third quarter of next year, and it just... look at it. How freaking awesome. I don't know what I love more, if it's the multiple limbs or the cherry red color. I love that metallic red, man. It just absolutely pops off the dang shelf. Also, I think the light in the center of the head is an actual light, so you got some light up functions there too. There's a lot of really, really cool stuff. Again, I don't need a whole bunch of specific Rim figures. That sounds weird. But I just, a one-off, random, awesome looking multi-armed cherry red metallic mech. Yeah, that hits all the sweet spots for me. So yeah, this looks kind of cool. I'm going to say that he's going to be priced at, 378 RMB. Don't know what currency that is. Might have to look that one up. But it's going to be 19 centimeters tall, so a decent size. Not huge, but chunky. Let me go check out what that price actually is. Okay, that was actually Chinese yuan, if that's how you pronounce it, which equates to about $50. Not too shabby for the looks of what you get here. That's a good price for a good mech. AJ's Toy Club is a really, really cool Facebook page where this photographer takes amazing artwork. And often, not artwork, photos. You make artwork, you take photos. And he's done this photo series with this character here that I'm not familiar with. It's a 1/6 scale figure, and obviously very, very cyberpunk looking. But I've not seen this or this franchise before, so I'm trying to find out more about it. Because just the aesthetics of this, it's deadly. Now that I got that Hot Toys Spider-Man, I'm like, ooh, 1/6 scale is kind of nice, isn't it? But I got to sort of limit myself because, well, I don't have to try to limit myself. Money will limit me, but that doesn't mean that I can't look at the pretty things. So this character here, or this figure, I do believe is Underverse. Underverse, I think, is the name of the manufacturer, and yeah, she looks awesome. I just wanted to share it. I'm going to try and find out more, because this design aesthetic, this is right up my street. The hype is ramping up for X-Men 97, and LEGO are getting on in there with their spoiler-fueled type playsets, which they always do. We're going to be getting the X-Jet. I mean, that's not too much of a spoiler, really. There's nothing here that we don't already know. But now we know that we're going to be seeing the X-Jet, which is hardly a game changer. But yeah, it's another fun LEGO set, and it's just nice to see LEGO doing some classic Marvel stuff. And this looks like a fun little piece. Not crazy huge, so it's not going to break the bank like a lot of LEGO sets do. This is more of a fun little desktop toy, which I'm guessing is still going to range for like at least, what, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks. I mean, just LEGO is expensive. I don't know what they make it out of, but it's clearly like one of the rarest materials on the land, because Lord knows they charge a king's ransom for it. But when you get a pretty X-Jet, you could argue it might be worth it. Premier Toys are showing off their 1/12 Mad Max figure. When I first saw these photos, I thought, oh, it's Hot Toys style Mad Max. That's not really impressive. But then, yeah, look at that. Boom. No, he's 1/12. That gets my attention more, because it's the fact that you can shrink down all of this styling and costuming into a 1/12 scale figure. That always impresses me. It really, really does. I love my 1/12 soft goods. It just, it makes it feel like a little work of art, like a little stop motion animation puppet. And this is decent. The Mel Gibson likeness, I'm not really seeing it. It's a bit more of a generic post-apocalypse type warrior, which is fine because he's billed as Wasteland Gladiator. But I mean, come on. Come on, we know what it really is. But honestly, I mean, Mel Gibson, he's had some pretty bad press the last decade. So maybe it's better to just go with generic Wasteland Gladiator. But yeah, I gotta say, the soft goods look real nice on this thing. So I'm gonna keep a sneaky eye on this, because genuinely, I really like the look of it. Freedom Gundam Reel. I think that's what this is called. There are so many names and words and codes and things. I can't differentiate it or decipher it because I'm not a Gundam guy. But this guy here, this admittedly awesome looking Gundam guy here, is going to be available at the Tamashii Nations Gundam Convention in-store thing they're doing next year in Japan. So if you're a Gundam person, you might have to jump through a few hoops to get this. It's going to be taking place between January and March of next year, I think. The thing is, come on, these things always go up on websites and they go up for sale in the secondhand market and whatnot. This guy's going to be retailing for nearly 20,000 yen, which is about 150 bucks, give or take. I'm not a Gundam guy, but I do love my mechs. And this is a sexy looking mech. I got to say it. I call him like I see him. And I like what I'm seeing here. So I don't know where the Tamashii Nation store is, but I'm intrigued to kind of find out, because first of all, I want to go to it because Tamashii Nations do some cool things. And this looks like a very cool thing. So I'm going to keep my eye on this. The Nendroid Good Smile Daviolo figure has pre-orders that are closing on December 21st, so you got to get in there pretty quickly. I don't know who this pink-haired lady is, but I like the look of her. The Nendroid figures, I say it every time I do this show, they're super cute. They're really chibi and just kind of adorable. I don't know what anime this is from. I don't recognize it, but I can already tell you. I like the look of it. I'm kind of intrigued just to find out, because some cool design. It looks kind of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but besides that, that's just a stab in the dark. I'm going to do a bit more research though, because I like the design aesthetic. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Also, we knew that was a lie. I'm not going to research anything. Revoltech have revealed 4 new characters that they're doing from My Hero Academia. You could tell I'm checking the crib sheet notes. I'm just going to read off the names of them. They are Dabi Tomaru Shigaraki. You never would have known I've lived in Japan for years. Ochako Yurokara and Shota Aizawa. Wow, it's spoken like a true gaijin. Let's take a little look at these pictures here. There they are. So actually, the way I edit this, you're going to be seeing the pictures right from the start with a little bit of, YouTube editing magic. But now I'm looking at them for the first time as well, and it's Tamashii Nations. They just get better and better. A couple of years ago, I was collecting a couple of Revoltech Tamashii Nations figures, and I was saying, hey, look, they're not perfect, but they have some nice elements. Now, a couple of years later, later, in the year of our Lord 2023, they're really just ironing out all the creases, getting rid of all the stuff that we didn't like, and just making some really beautiful action figures, and these seem like no exceptions. I'm not a fan of the anime, but just looking at the detail and the quality of these things, they look really good. So if you are a My Hero Academia fan, that was the anime, wasn't it? I've already forgotten. Then you should probably be quite pleased with this, because look at the shading around the eyes and the way the clothes are put together. Yeah, man, I gotta say, I like what I see. Nami from One Piece was on display at the Jump Fiesta convention, which is a convention I've never heard of, but I really like the name of it. Jump Fiesta. It just has nice connotations to it. So this is clearly the Netflix style character, so a very realistic human kind of portrayal here. And I haven't seen the One Piece Netflix show, but it's one of those ones that seem to defy the odds and has actually been pretty favorably received from everyone, from what I can understand. So, I mean, it's a pretty looking figure, and you can judge it for yourself. If you're a One Piece fan, if you enjoyed the Netflix show, then they seem to be doing all the most integral characters from that, and I'm guessing that she's one of them. So there you go. She's going to be available early next year. Also on display at Jump Fiesta from SH Figure Arts was Nezuko Kamado. There she is. That's why you come here, because I repeat the things that you could have just read yourself and add no extra insight. What the heck am I even doing here? And also Toshihiro Hitsugaya from Bleach. I don't know. I'm not even going to try and fake my way through it.
Title of your sex tape.
But if you like Bleach, I've heard of Bleach. If you like Bleach, then this is a guy from it. Where are the Marvel Legends? I can do Marvel Legends. And then there's also Fuko Izumo. I don't know. But before, old Dave would have tried to kind of bluff his way through, pretending that he kind of sort of knows what he's talking. I got no idea. A person and a taller person. I don't know. I mean, I'm a completionist. I have mild obsessive compulsive disorder. If there's news and new toys being revealed, I want to talk about them. But I got nothing. Can you tell? Is this entertaining in a different way? It's not helpful or informative, but I mean, it fills the silence, doesn't it? And finally, there's Giyu Tomioka, and there he is. He's got a pretty looking jacket and a sword. Actually, to be fair, I'm kind of envious of that jacket. I actually really like that jacket. That's a jacket that I would happily just lounge around the house in. That's something I would wear while editing. Yeah, okay, there you go. I don't know anything about this guy, but I do like his jacket. A company called Toy Easy are doing a Transformers-style figure called Super Alloy Warship God. Man, I love these Japanese names. I just wanted to take a little look at him because it's an awesome mech transformer that turns into a freaking battleship. This dude would be like Titan class if he was in the regular sort of Transformers line, but this is obviously going to be a lot smaller. I do have some measurement numbers I can give you, but I just wanted to point him out because I love the look of him. I think he's really, really cool. So yeah, we've got this guy here, and just the design aesthetic I think is kind of wicked. And there are official Transformers that turn into battleships, but they always have to use that excuse of the molecule shifting, size changing technology. The same thing that explains away Megatron turning into a handgun. Same deal with this, except that this guy, I don't know, maybe he is a gigantic Titan-style Transformer. I don't know what his origin story is, but as far as the action figure is concerned, I can tell you the actual size and scale for him. He's about 34 centimeters in robot mode, which is pretty a decent size, give or take. I think it's about 34 centimeters. I'm trying to picture the little plastic rulers we used to use in school. Those were 30 centimeters, so about that. And he's going to be available around about the first quarter of next year. So keep a little eye on for him because he looks pretty cool. Shipping now from Super 7 are the Motorhead figures. I had to actually remind myself, who? Motorhead, of course. You got Lemmy here. And this is fun. I do like NECA are doing their Bon Jovi figures, and they've done other rock figures as well. Lemmy, dude's an icon. And of course, yes, I know him best. Well, I first, came into awareness of him through the Ace of Spades. Not from it being played on the radio, but from being used in a What's-Its advert. 90s kids in the UK might remember that. And then, of course, he did all the music for Triple H, and everyone remembers his wonderful performance at WrestleMania where he didn't forget the lyrics. He clearly just couldn't be bothered to even learn them in the first place. God bless him. It's great having Triple H come out for his big match and Lemmy's like, "It's all about the game, to play with the game. I am the game and I want to play. Play with the game, I am to play. You know I am play the game I can play." I'm like, dude, it's WrestleMania, but it means nothing to you. I really respect that. MondoShop.com are showing off their Atomic Breath Fire Godzilla. I don't think it's Atomic Breath Fire. I think it is just Atomic Godzilla. I don't know why I threw in the breath there. Nonetheless, I love him. Of course, this is kind of a chibi sort of version, but also so gnarly as well. Kind of like with artists I've pointed out, I love it when things are so hyper detailed that they look ugly. Because it's like a cool, gross, intricate kind of ugliness. That's what Mondo are doing with these Godzilla figures, and they're doing it and doing it and doing it well. So, I mean, this is going to be $250. This is a lot of money for a chibi fire Godzilla. But hey, look, some people have got money to burn. And if you have, then, you can join the Model Behaviour Patreon. Or buy yourself an awesome Mondo Godzilla, because either one of those, it's going to be money well spent. Mondo are also doing Rodan as well. So just like their Atomic Godzilla, this thing is sort of a kind of chibi sort of style, but again, hyper detailed, beautiful quality, paintwork, all that kind of stuff. And again, going to be super expensive. I think that's going for about $200 as well. But it depends on whatever floats your boat. This isn't really my cup of tea, this kind of thing, but clearly, the market is there, and the masses are calling out for it. So it's there if you want it. Luckily, I have enough things desperately demanding my money. I can pass on this guy, although the paint job is beautiful, with the purples and blues and blacks all chromic together. That's very, very pretty. So yeah, even if I'm not going to buy him, it's fun to take a look at the pictures, because they do look cool. He would pair really well with a Mondo Godzilla. No, Dave, that's like $500 worth of action figures there. You don't have the budget for that. Definitely not right now. And finally, from Mondo Studios' Godzilla line, for now, they've got Space Godzilla, and Space Godzilla is one of the coolest Godzilla villains, right up there with Biolante and Destroyer. And it's essentially, visually, it's Godzilla with some crystals on his back, which you wouldn't have thought would be that cool. And then you see this guy and you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. But again, you're going to be talking big money, $250. So, it's perhaps outside of our wheelhouse, but hey, it's still fun to show off the pretty pictures. A company called Namu Studio through Do Toy Store have made these dinosaur figures. And again, I'm trying to identify the different companies and whatnot, because it's Chinese, I think Chinese manufacturers, and it makes it a little difficult to understand what's going on where. But if you Google these different names, you can kind of like you deep dive and find out where to get these guys, because the White Queen and the Blood Knight do look pretty cool, and they're listed for not crazy prices, like $40 each. And if you look at the quality you get with things like the Hammond collection from Mattel, which are a much easier source of dinos to go for, then you can know what sort of thing to expect. I say expect, that's not even a word. Expect. And the thing is, they look cool. I love the frills and the spikes on the Raptor. That looks really lovely. It's some cool stuff. I think Joey, if you're watching, Joey, this might be S tier right here, because these look pretty cool, actually. So give Do Toy Store a bit of a Google and see what's what, because this is new to me. I'm just sort of discovering these. But I still got Rexy behind me, one of my absolute favorite action figures. Maybe pairing Rexy up with a couple of Velociraptors, that wouldn't be the worst idea. So these are ones that could even entice me. Netflix have shown their trailer for Axel F, the fourth Beverly Hills Cop movie, and it looks really okay. I was going to say really good. I don't know if it looks really good, but just from the trailer, which of course trailers can be deceiving, it looks decent, and that's kind of nice. I want to get a bit of Beverly Hills Cop nostalgia, and to be fair to Eddie Murphy, the dude really hasn't aged a whole hell of a lot. He can still pull off the Axel Foley kind of gimmick, and I'm down for that. So yeah, come next year, I'm probably going to be watching Axel F, Beverly Hills Cop 4, and I think Netflix, by early impressions, they might have done a good job with this. There's a trailer out for an upcoming game called Mouse, which is a run-and-gun shooter that's done in the style, as you can see, of old 1920s, 1930s style cartoons, which essentially seems to be taking a similar kind of aesthetic that we saw in Cuphead and applying that to a first-person shooter. And honestly, you got my attention. I really liked the very weird, creepy sort of aesthetic that comes with that animation style, because that style is creepy. I don't know if it's just me, but I think there's something just unsavory about it, which is also kind of fun. So applying that to a hyper-violent shooter, yeah, that looks kind of interesting. It's going to be coming to PC in 2025 and maybe other consoles, we don't know for sure yet. But just looking at the trailer, you definitely got my interest at least, because it seems kind of interesting. A story trailer has dropped for Tekken 8, and honestly, I'm so down to clown with this. Because with fighting games, it's not actually the mechanics of fighting games that I'm massively into. It's the lore. It's the ridiculous stories behind all of these characters and their issues and histories. That's what gets me into it. That's why I love Mortal Kombat so much. Because the fighting game mechanics, honestly, most of them are way too advanced for a goober like me to understand. But it's the story that gets its hooks into me. And the same goes for Tekken. And Tekken has one of the most bonkers stories out there, but it also has one of the coolest rosters of characters as well. And Tekken 8 coming out early next year looks absolutely stunning. The graphics just... yeah, that's next gen right there. It's crazy to think that lifespan wise, the PlayStation 5 is actually nearing the latter part of its life, but that's because it came out in 2020 and no one could get it. So we're well into the life cycle of the PS5, and developers are really knowing how to maximize that. And they're doing it by telling these great narrative stories with incredible looking cutscenes that honestly, that's what I'm gonna get Tekken 8 for. The fighting, you know what, I'm going to put it on normal, if not easy setting, and just kind of breeze my way through so I can get the whole narrative. That's what I did with Mortal Kombat, and that's eventually what I'm going to do with Street Fighter 6 when I can, buy that cheap. Because I'm not going to spend $60 on it, because I'll play the narrative and then I'm good. But Tekken 8, yeah, that's one that I might even want to buy brand new, because it's such a staple from my 90s. I got a lot of time for it. And they're bringing back all the old fan favorite characters, peppering in a few new ones as well, and just throwing on what looks to be an utterly bonkers story. So yeah, I'm down for that. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon has debuted, or premiered, or whatever the word is, on Netflix to mixed to slightly negative reviews, which is a bit of a shame just considering how hyped up this movie was. And again, I don't want to badmouth it too much because I've not seen it, but I've seen lots of reviews on it and we're kind of going by an aggregate over here. And the thing is, this is kind of like the Star Wars movie that never was. Apparently the story is that Zack Snyder went to Disney and he was like, yo, this is my pitch for Star Wars. I think it would make a badass movie. And they were like, not for us, thanks. Which honestly, that doesn't bode badly. Because, as we've seen, Disney are happy to make terrible Star Wars projects. So maybe you would think, oh, perhaps they're just averse to making good things. So let's see what Zack Snyder has. And it's not anything too amazing. So by the sounds of things, it would have fit in perfectly with the Star Wars universe. So it's kind of like Star Wars, but a bit more grim and gritty, and the kid gloves are off. But that does not a good movie make. And at least according to IGN, who's one of the more recent reviews that I had a look at, it says Rebel Moon is let down by a derivative patchwork script, mediocre action sequences, and a superficial story. 4 out of 10, which is, Whew, yeah, that's pretty scathing from IGN. So, I mean, hey, look, they're not the arbiters of taste. You might watch it and have a thoroughly good time with it. I recommend, you try it yourself, see what you think. But for me personally, from the scuttlebutt I've been hearing, I'm all right. I think I'm going to sit this one out. Some disappointing news from pro wrestling. Kenny Omega, one of my favorites, is out for the indefinite future. Unfortunately, the Best Bout machine is dealing with a bout of diverticulitis, which is something that took down the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. So, if it's going to do a number on that guy, then, Kenny Omega, bless his heart, he's tough as old boots, but this is going to be a big thing. Diverticulitis, I don't really fully understand it, but it messes with your intestines, basically, and often you need some serious surgery to, cut it out and deal with it, and the road to recovery is long and hard, and God bless you, Kenny Omega. You're genuinely one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, but I think it's going to be a while before we see him. Possibly, maybe, hopefully, he'll be good to go come All In next year at Wembley Stadium. That's not until August. But realistically, that is the kind of time frame I think we're looking at. So, best of luck to you, Kenny Omega, and all the love and healing vibes in the world. I hope you recover and you can come back as good as you ever were. But it's going to be a long road ahead. So, more power to you. Gambate, Omega-san. Mortal Kombat are giving us a Christmas fatality. Now, these seasonal fatalities, that's easy for me to say, these seasonal fatalities have been a bit controversial because they've cost a lot of money. And people are saying, whoa, NetherRealm, you're kind of nickel and diming us there. But hey, I don't mind it too much because, look, you can just watch it online for free if you want. And no one's forcing you to buy it. Yeah, it's overpriced, but, hustlers gotta hustle. And I guess NetherRealm are hustling. Me personally, I'll just watch it for free. That's fine. But then again, I'm not an online gamer, so I don't have too much of a dog in this race. But if you are a hardcore Mortal Kombat online player, well, you can brutalize people in the Christmas spirit. There's a new Echo trailer that's been dropped, and it reveals that the show's going to be coming a little bit earlier than we were expecting. January 9th, it's going to be debuting, so you can look forward to seeing this. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a little bit further towards the spring, but there you go. We're going to get another fix of Marvel, which is nice because obviously we haven't had a lot of Marvel, or we won't do next year, basically. Only one big movie, Deadpool 3, and that's it. So hopefully the Disney Plus shows might start to make up that slack and give us some good quality with it. I know that I'm definitely going to watch that because there's not much else to go around with the MCU, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Give us less and make us want it more. That's really smug advice coming from someone who puts out a video nearly every day. Maybe I should try that logic too. I won't. I enjoy doing this too much. Holy moly, I've never seen the G.I. Joe shuttle station before, but man, it makes me hearken for a time in the 80s where you could get things like this under your Christmas tree. I didn't know that this existed, but it just kind of makes you think, oh gosh, that was a golden age for toys right there. How did we stray so far from the path? I guess, I don't know, the cost of oil and plastic, I guess? Because this thing today would be a huge HasLab project. But back in the day, you just buy it at retail. It's a space shuttle, it's a land crawler, and it's a battle station, and it transforms into the different 3 modes. And I know a whole bunch of you folks would buy all 3 so that you could just have them there and just, I just like looking at cool stuff from the 80s. This was a fun one to share. Did you own this? Did anyone out there own this thing? Because, man, it's going to bring back some good memories. Over in Creator Corner, want to highlight Digo Doodles. This is another just random Instagram account that I stumbled upon, but the reason I stumbled upon it was because Instagram recommended this page to me, and instantly the artwork caught my eye. It's difficult to put my finger on it. I'm not sure what exactly it is about the style, but I really dig it. I vibe with it. It's bright, bold, colorful. I can't even remember which picture it was that initially made me go like, oh, this is kind of cool. But then once I got into his page further, you've got these beautiful, really beautiful black and white pen and ink sketches. And these are just This I dig. Like, obviously, with the computer coloring, it's brighter, it's more bold, it's very, very eye-catching. But this looks like you can feel like someone has just sat at a desk and painstakingly sketched out every little bit line by line. I love that. I dig it. And then, yeah, with the rest of his portfolio here, really impressive stuff. I'm a fan. So yeah, go give Digo_Doodles a follow, because I can't say that there's a specific niche or motif that they do, except that the motif is just really good artwork. And sometimes when you're flicking through and you're just scrolling along Instagram, that's all you need to fill up your feed with. Yeah, random spider person. I guess that's an original creation. Yeah, God bless him. He's making some good stuff there. Over in Cosplay Corner, gonna take a look at Lady Mellamore 11 and Holy Cheese and Crackers. Yeah, at first I thought, hang on a second, you ain't gonna fool me with this one. This is just some AI stuff going on here. And then I realized, no, this is actually a flesh and blood human being. But oh my goodness, they look like they've been photoshopped. And you know what, maybe they have, but even when you Photoshop someone, you gotta have a base to start with. And with this lady, it's all about the bass and no treble. And holy potatoes, my goodness, I try to make a family friendly show, and this really walks the line and pushes the boundaries. But you know what, sometimes you gotta live dangerously. To live outside the law, you must be honest. And this lady here, like the cosplays are one thing, but you know, there's also just like straight up kind of not lingerie, but just I don't know, what do you call it? Sexy pictures. And you know what? I'm down for the occasional sexy picture, because she's absolutely smoking. I mean, like next level. And yeah, I know you're going to look at these and be like, yeah, but there's a lot of lighting and makeup and costumes and possibly even CGI and After Effects. You know what? I don't care, because the finished product is pretty freaking awesome. So yeah, go and give her a follow, because oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a nice cosplaying right there. I don't even know who half these characters are. Quite frankly, I don't care. I just appreciate the artwork. And yes, don't judge me. This is art. And folks, that does it for good news for today. What did you think about the stories covered? Comment below. Let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you got to do. You got to join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And if you want to go one step beyond, don't even worry about joining the Patreon or the channel members section. Nah. Be a part of the show by sending me in your video for the Christmas special telling me what your action figure of the year was. You can send that to the address below, and also go over to the Model Behaviour Facebook group where you can fill out your nominees for the year-end awards. So all sorts of different ways to be a part of the community, and anything you want to do, I always really appreciate it. So gang, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, keep displaying model behaviour.
Cup of coffee. Big time.